The quality of your life is going to be determined by the quality of your content. Wow.
What if I told you that you're just one video away from having a massive following on YouTube? Now, I know that sounds really hard to believe, but hear me out. In this video, we're going to talk about Myron Golden's blueprint for YouTube success. And you may be just starting out thinking that building YouTube is way harder than you ever imagined. But in this video, I'm going to break down very simply how you can be a YouTube success just like Myron Golden.
God created the contents of the world by using the content of his word. Think about that. God created the contents, the trees and the sun, the moon, the grass. He created the contents, the mountains. He created the contents of the world with the content of his word. That's mind-blowing. And we're made in the image of God. I really believe that you will create the contents of your experiential world. God created the contents of the existential world. We will create the content of our experiential world with the content that we create. Isn't that mind-blowing?
There's absolutely no question that the life that you want, the business that you desire, is on the other side of you creating content. Myron just quoted from Genesis chapter 1, "In the beginning, God created." And because we are a part of God, we have the ability to create just as he created. How do we do that in a real tangible sense? We do it through our words. You are going to create your world, the success in your business, the clients are going to come. Your lifestyle is going to change by your words. Now, I'm not just talking about some hokey dokey affirmations that you say in the morning. No, we're not talking about that here. We're talking about taking what you know and communicating that to the world, and specifically in the form of YouTube videos and social media content. Now, this may be intimidating, especially if you hate speaking in front of a camera, or you're used to building your business the traditional way, through referrals or networking. But video content, it will literally change the game for you. Myron spoke about going from being literally broke to breaking records on YouTube because he gets paid from the content that he produces on this platform. Now, I'm not saying that to entice you thinking that it's all about money. No, it's about impact. And if you're stuck right now in your head thinking, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, or I'm not even good at speaking, you are absolutely not alone. But the great part about it is that you're starting somewhere. You're starting with what you have. Even someone as great as Moses thought that when God called him to lead the children of Israel out of Egypt, he's like, Lord, I have a slow tongue. I stutter. I can't speak that good. But guess what? God was willing to use him anyway. And God is willing to use you as well if you only show up. Remember, you are created to create. And you are absolutely created for more, to have more impact and to have more income. And it's going to come directly from the content that you produce.
You create content out of the things you know. Maybe you multiply them times the things you've learned. Maybe you multiply them times the experience you've had, and then you have this unique experience. You're like, oh, I had an aha moment, and then you share the aha moments that you have with the people that are paying attention to you.
Don't let overthinking stop you from simply turning the camera on. You don't really have to think that deeply about what you're going to speak about, especially not in the beginning. Like, a lot of times we get so caught up in our head and thinking about all of these grand ideas that we forget to execute. And what Myron Golden is sharing here is that you simply have to speak authentically from the experiences that you've had, from the revelations and the ideas and the aha moments that you've received from everyday things. For example, if you read a book, you can literally turn the camera on and talk about the 4 things that stood out to you in this person's book. I did a video on my YouTube channel about the 4 things that I learned from Myron Golden's book. And that video is bringing me subscribers every single day. So it doesn't have to be this complex dissertation of topics and ideas and subtopics. No, you simply have to speak authentically from the experiences that you've had, from the things that made you excited, and communicate those with people who may appreciate them. Listen, you're not responsible for how people will react, if they will subscribe, if they will follow. You're simply responsible for putting the content out there.
People have all these goals and objectives. They see Mr. Beast with his 742 quadrillion subscribers, and we see all these other people, and we're like, man, if I could just get there. But do you know how you get there? One more video, one more subscriber. One more video, one more subscriber. And eventually one more video brings you 2 more subscribers. Eventually one more video will bring you 13 subscribers. See, I think our perception is, like, our perception of reality is skewed by other people's experiences. And so we look at what other people are doing, and since we don't believe we can do what they are doing, we believe we can't do anything. I don't care if we get 1,000 subscribers. I don't care if we get 1 million. I don't care if we get 10 million. I don't care if we don't get any. I'm going to do a video a week consistently for 10 years. Not to see if I can get subscribers, not to see if I can get views, not to see if I can get monetization, not to see if I can get money, but I want to do this to see if I can get good at YouTube.
So what are the 4 things you could start making content about right now? Number 1, things you've tried and succeeded at. Number 2, things that you have tried and failed at. What are the lessons that you've learned? Number 3, make content about people that you admire. What about the video that you last watched that got you excited? Make a review on it, similar to what I'm doing here. Number 4, share from your lived experiences and expertise. If you've got a degree, you've got something to say. If you've got no degree and you simply picked up knowledge from your lived experience, you've got something to say. The mere fact that you are alive means that you've got a whole lifetime full of content to share. Don't make it complicated.
The beautiful part about that is you have the ability, because of your unique perspective, to create content that no one else has ever created before. How do I create content? How can I create really great content? You have to become more interesting. If you become interested in the things that make your life work better, and you become interested in the things that make other people's lives better, now you're interesting. So if I become interested in, like, principles and interested in people, I become way more interesting.
As the saying goes, if you help enough people get what they want out of life, you will inevitably get everything that you want out of life. Or as Jesus says, the greatest amongst you will be the greatest servant. So serve people with your content. And how do you serve them something that they actually want? Is by answering the questions that they have. Go on YouTube, for example, look at your favorite creators' content and look at the comment section. Chances are people are going to have some questions that most likely the creator of the video will not answer. So if you could step in and answer those questions, you just became a servant and people will follow you. And that's the name of the game, is to show up being the answer to a person's question and being a solution to their problems. And the great part about it, you don't even have to go that far. Just think about the questions that people in your normal sphere of influence ask you. Oh, how do you do this? Oh, I was looking at your page and you did that. Or I was always wondering how you go about doing this or doing that. Or how did you overcome this particular situation? Those things are questions that not just that one person has, but chances are there are many people who have a similar question that you can answer.
Become more intentional, and then become more intense. And by intense, I mean collapsing time frames. Get more done in less time.
How do you get more of your content done in less time? You break your content up into themes. Ask yourself this question: if I only had 10 minutes to speak to someone about this particular topic, what are the 10 things that I would share with them? Those 10 things become your 10 themes. For example, if you are an accountant and you had 10 minutes to speak to someone about personal finances, what are the 10 most important things about personal finance that that person has to know? Write them down. And from each topic, write 4 bullet points. These are called subtopics. So let's take topic number 1, budgeting. What are the components of budgeting? What is a budget? How to budget? Tools to use for budgeting, and a demonstration of creating an actual budget. Now, I'm no finance expert, so forgive me in advance, but this is showing you that you can take a larger concept, break it down into smaller themes, and in the end, not only will you have 10 months worth of content, but each of those months, There are 4 weeks in a month. So each of those months have their own particular content theme. So congratulations, you just got 10 months worth of content that you can execute on today. And now if you are stuck and you're still thinking, okay, I don't know what my themes are or what are the 10 most important things that I would share with someone, go ahead and use AI. It's a great way to get your ideas flowing. Simply tell ChatGPT, hey, I am a fitness coach and I am looking to educate people about the importance of having a healthy lifestyle and exercise. What are the 10 main topics that I can speak about related to this? They will give you some examples. Then ask the AI, hey, now that I have these 10 topics, what are 4 subtopics that I can use under each point? They'll give you those 4 subtopics. Congratulations, it took you less than 30 seconds to come up with your content themes for the next 10 months. When you show up with that type of plan before you turn the camera on, then the chances are you'll be more consistent and you'll be more confident in your ability to show up for your audience.
How do I attract an audience? By working with human nature instead of working against it. If you show up hoping people show up for you, they're not going to. But if you show up hoping to show up for them, they'll show up for you.
The best thing you can do when you're just starting out, or if you are in the game but you're not seeing the momentum that you're looking for, is to commit to just doing it anyway. And I know it sounds easier than it is to actually do, but trust me on this. If you make sure that you're not trying to make a ton of money off of YouTube or off of social media, like you still have your 9 to 5, etc., then you're not dependent upon a financial result toward your social media or content creation. What you're doing is you are nurturing it. For example, as a mother, it is a long-term investment to nurture my children before I can see some type of return, right? I got to deal with the snotty noses, the colds, the bruises, the complaining, the education, that this and that. There's so much before, after some time, I will be like, oh wow, you became this fabulous adult and now you can actually take care of me, right? But that is a long-term investment. That's like a 25, 30-year plan. However, if you look at your content like that same strategy, then you're going to say, okay, I'm in it for the long haul, number one. So I'm not going to give up the minute my business gets a negative review or when I don't see as many followers or subscribers to my channel. No, I know that it is a long-term investment strategy and I'm setting my expectations appropriately. I think a lot of us, we get frustrated because we are trying to make money from what we do online. And yes, you will make it eventually, but it is a process. It is a nurturing process before you can reap a harvest. And the harvest will come, but it has to be done based on your consistent efforts over time. That's how people begin to know you. They like your brand and they trust you enough to say, okay, I've been seeing so-and-so for a while. She's been showing up in this way. I've been seeing Chantel. She's told me that I'm created for more. And even when I didn't believe it, I remember she said it. And even when I didn't have any idea what I would do with my message, she believed in me and she gave me strategies to make it happen. And over time, that person will remember you, they'll remember me, and then when they're ready, they will choose you. And so be willing to show up anyway because you're building a brand, a reputation of consistency and reliability.
You already have a brand. Now, the question is, did you build your brand by design or did you build your brand by default? Because if you didn't intentionally say, I'm going to build this as my brand, then you built your brand by default. So you build a brand by predetermining the story you'd like people to think about when they hear your name. And then you show up like that.
Building a brand authentically from the start is the best investment when it comes to your content. It will save you years of frustration because your message isn't resonating. If you just come with the same voice, with the same look, with the same imperfections as we all have in your unique way, then you will build up this reputation where people are like, I feel like I knew you before I ever came to your conference. I felt like I was going to work with you, that you were my coach, even before I saw access to your your program. That is the type of relationship that you can build when you have content that's consistent, that's authentic to your brand, and that resonates with the people that you are called to serve.
Because you don't have to tell smart people to go buy if you've already helped them. Because one of my favorite questions, we get it every month, at least once a month. Man, if this guy taught me this much for free, I can't imagine how much he'll teach me if I actually pay him.
I don't know about you, but that got me excited. And listen, I believe so much in your potential that I hope that you could just feel it from the camera, right? I believe that you were created for more, to do more, to have more, and to be all that God called you to be. So if you like this type of content, make sure that you subscribe and drop a message in the comment, I'm created for more, so I know that we're on the same page. Until next time, I'll see you again.